Hello, welcome to episode number 13 of the Local Lowdown. My name is Zach Bischoff, and I'm, as always, joined over there by.
Danny Shanholzer.
All right, thank you very much, Danny. All right, so today we're going to discuss we're going to discuss first NFL week number 1, and we're going to preview week number 2, and hopefully under about 20-25 minutes time. First, we're going to talk about first of all, Danny, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, Zach. How are you, man?
All right, we had a fun time before hitting the airwaves today. So we need a blooper reel. We got to do that.
That'd be fun.
I gotta put
It's
that.
on the
I gotta put
on
that
the
in
agenda.
I gotta put that in the suggestion box. The first, the Steelers lost. Oh, by the way, this is our 7th time trying to record this podcast. We had some problems with us being tired and not taking it seriously. All right. Yeah, Steelers. So the Steelers lost on Sunday by a score of 30-7. Danny, first, your thoughts on the game, and if you took any positives, if any, from that game, because I sure as heck didn't, with the
Yeah,
exception
Zach.
of maybe one thing, but go ahead.
Yeah, Zach, for sure, man. And always a great time of year here, man. Really looking forward to talking some football here. But Zach, it's no secret that the Steelers really did not have a great first showing by any means against the 49ers. I mean, um, 30-7 is really kind of a beatdown for the Steelers. And the Steelers are not a team that's used to getting blown out like that.
No,
Jack, you and I are not used to watching blowouts like that happen on a regular basis. Um, and I just thought that the Steelers really did not look ready to play. Honestly, I
no,
mean,
they were not.
we just did not have any sort of fluidity in our offense. I mean, we just didn't have um, really any facet of the offense going. I mean, on our first five drives, we had 5 3-and-outs in a row, and we midway through the second quarter we had 1 rushing yard compared to San Francisco's 49 rushing yards, or I'm sorry, 199 rushing yards. I mean, that just simply does not get it done, Zach.
No,
And I just think that honestly, the Steeler that you know gets the most praise, but also has to take the loss the hardest is Kenny Pickett. I really did not think Kenny Pickett looked good at all today or on Sunday, Zach. He just was not. He just did not look confident and not on the same page with any of his receivers. So I'm really, I was really disappointed um, on Sunday, because we've been waiting so long to watch Steelers football again.
yeah,
But at the same time, we got to realize, it is only week 1. There is a lot of time left still, but it does not get easier from here on out, Zach.
yeah, Danny. Thank you very much. I do think Pickett and the entire Steelers offense really looked disjointed. We've been talking a lot this week about disjointed performances with the likes of Pitt against Cincinnati, Nebraska against Colorado, and now the Steelers against the 49ers. I think that while Pickett did get sacked, I believe it was 5 or 6 times. I think
Yeah.
yeah, 5. I think it really was shows that the line. I really do not like the look of that line. The Steelers offensive line through the first week of the season, and Mike Tomlin was, I believe, quoted saying as such that he thought the line was played great against that group. So that 5 sacks really does not show that. And your thoughts, and then I have another point.
No, for sure, Zach. I mean, I think you really hit the nail on the head there, man. I mean, five sacks does not show great blocking from the offensive line, and this is a offensive line that's kind of revamped with the likes of Isaac Samo and and Dan Moore as a guy that wants to, or that they're giving another chance to keep improving and things like that. So I was kind of really disappointed in that, just because last year the line was really a struggle for the Steelers, and because of that we couldn't really open up our offense very much. But I'm hoping that this year will be different. But that was a step in the wrong direction, and I really think too, Zach. The ease at which San Francisco picked us apart was also concerning for me. It just, we really did not provide any you know any any defense really. I was searching for the word there.
Mhm.
San Francisco just really marched down the field, especially on their first drive. Brock Purdy was pretty much the exact opposite of Kenny Pickett. I believe he was 19 for 29 with 220 yards or something like that, which is a pretty dream start for a quarterback in the young season. Brandon Ayuk had 2 touchdowns, 8 catches for 100 plus yards. Also, Christian McCaffrey had just a numerous amount of just chunk runs where he was able to um get 20 yards a pop, 40 yards a pop in some ways, and that just, that simply does not get done, Zach. And another thing, is just, we really didn't, talking about how well the 49ers executed their game plan. We did the exact opposite of that, Zach. We got away from running the ball, and
Yeah,
I think, in preseason we talked all the time about how Harris and Warren were going to be the two backs, and Warren was going to be able to um, make more plays and impact the game in more ways. And he carried the ball twice, Zach.
yeah,
That's not the way to feature a running back right there.
yeah. No, and I saw a stat. I think it was through the first 28 minutes of play, I believe, the Steelers were held to, I believe, a +1 or +2 yards, total yards.
Yeah.
So that really shows the lack of just production at all from the offense. And my final point on this topic, and then we'll move on to a different game, is the Steelers. I think the Steelers they went perfect in the preseason against backups, but they went perfect in the preseason, the perfect 3-0, and I think that gave them both a false sense of well, not both, but a false sense of confidence, and they won the coin toss, and they took the ball, which never happens in the NFL. You always defer to the second half if you win the coin toss. Um, and now over to Danny for the Steelers injury report.
Yeah, no, Zach. Obviously, we definitely want to mention that here, because that's not what you want to come out from a disappointing performance, obviously, and you obviously never want to have injuries. But Cam Hayward has been sidelined 8 to 9 weeks, I believe, with a groin injury. Same goes for Deontay Johnson. Um, for I believe 4 or 5 weeks with a hamstring. So we talked already about how disappointing of a start it was for the Steelers, and now it just gets tougher from here, Zach, because Cam Hayward is a leader on that defense, um, and Deontay Johnson has been our number one receiver for. That's up kind of for debate here, but
Yep.
he's been a reliable target for Kenny Pickett, and now it's those are two guys that are on the regular, Kenny Pickett leaders on the team. They've been around for a while, and Kenny Pickett relies on guys like Deontay Johnson to make plays. And I'll be super interested to see what guys step up on the defense and the offense. I think Keanu Benton is a guy that has the capability to step up on defense, but nobody can emulate what Cam Hayward does. I mean, it is a different type of defense when he is healthy, and same goes for Deontay Johnson. I mean, guys like George Pickens are going to have to step up, which I'm excited to see because I feel like all the talk this offseason, Zach, has been we need to get Pickett to throw the ball to Pickens more. You know, he needs more touches, and so I am interested to see how Matt Canada can scheme up a game plan with George Pickens as wide receiver number one.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, you never want to lose a guy like Deontay. As far as other games around the league, Zach, I know that
I
one that
wasn't ready to go there yet.
oh, all
Well,
right, all right.
this is why I can't have you lead segments. Um, what I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted was there was a roster move today that I could not find that I saw on Twitter of the Steelers promoting a wide receiver of a name that I don't know from the practice squad to the active roster. I forget what his name was, but I would assume that would be in response to the Johnson injury. All right, so Danny, you were saying
No, sorry, Zach. I didn't mean to step on your toes there, man. Um,
yes, sir.
but looking around the league here, we got a plethora of action for sure. I mean, there's a ton of games that we could dive into. I know that the one on your mind, Zach, has been, I think we've in recent days we've related a lot to the Giants fan base, considering that they lost the Cowboys 40-0 on Sunday Night Football. Zach, what are your thoughts on that game, man? And what do you say to the Giants fan base?
Well, I mean, the first part of your question, I only watched the first half of that game, but that's really all you needed to watch. I mean, it was
Yeah,
already what was it? It was already 30 to something. So
yeah,
it was the game was already over at that point. But I mean,
right.
it's just the Giants, similar to the Steelers, did not look ready to play. Um, initially their first drive was all right, but and then everything just went downhill from there. All right, I apologize for that cut there, but
No,
as I was
dude,
saying,
you're good. You're good. I'm not like I wasn't. Yeah, I'm just saying be more confident in yourself. You know what I'm
we're back live. As I was saying, um, Daniel Jones, he started throwing interceptions, and it all went downhill from there. I really think that they really showed the explosiveness of the Cowboys offense in Dak Prescott, who I actually think I have the Cowboys D on one of my fantasy teams. So it was a good night and good night at the office for me.
saying? For sure, Zach. No, I guess the one thing that silver lining for both Steelers fans and Giants fans is that it is only week one, and a 40-0 loss and a 30-7 loss is the same as a 24-23 overtime loss, so it has the same effect on your record. So I think that is, if there's any, the silver lining to all of this.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on that before we proceed to our final game? We're going to be a bit short on target time. We can go with it.
No, man, I mean, I'm excited to talk some Monday Night Football here, Zach.
All right. In that case, the Jets defeated the Bills. Bills in overtime last Monday night on Monday Night Football in prime time. But Danny first, and I think this overshadows just about anything that went on the field. On I believe was it the fourth play from scrimmage. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers was lost for the season with a torn Achilles. He's scheduled to have surgery, I believe, in the coming days. If not, he's not had that already. Um, Give me your thoughts on the injury to Rodgers and the impact. And first, the impact. What was I going to say? The impact on the. Let's go team morale. Let's go just with everything. Uh,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, Zach. No,
You know
yeah,
what I mean.
Zach, for sure, man. No, I mean there is nothing that is more disheartening to see in sports than when a guy that has been deemed the franchise quarterback, a savior to the franchise, go down on the fourth play of the game with such a severe injury. Aaron Rodgers dominated the football offseason, and rightfully so in his news coverage. Going to the New York Jets, everybody thought that the New York Jets it was going to be a new team because of him. And I just think I feel so bad for Aaron Rodgers because even sometimes Aaron Rodgers kind of rubs people the wrong way based on what he says in interviews, and whether you like the guy or you don't like listening to the guy, you can't deny that he's a great football player. And when somebody that's worked so hard to get to that point, um, has a torn Achilles on the fourth play. I mean, you just cannot help but feel super, super bad for him. So wishing Aaron Rodgers the best for sure, and just really, it really does stink when something like that happens in sports, man.
Excuse me. Yeah. And Danny, my next question is: with it now being Zach Wilson's team, 1 week into the season, does that or no? Is that could this be Zach Wilson's final chance to prove he is a starting quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, Zach. No, that's a loaded question, man.
Good. I have another one for you when you're done.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. No, I think Zach Wilson is a guy that really has kind of been, I would say, just he wasn't ready for the spotlight of being the second overall pick, you know, and he was deemed as the franchise saver when they drafted him a few years back, and obviously things didn't go well for him there, and I think he'd be the first to say that he things did not go well for him there, but Zach Wilson, but even on the like just he's got another opportunity. Even with everything that's gone on, he's got another opportunity to prove himself. And obviously, I think he wishes that it was under better circumstances, and then he didn't have to take the place of a Hall of Fame quarterback. But I think Zach Wilson is a guy that he was a second overall pick for a reason. And they still do have weapons around him, including with Garrett Wilson and Dalvin Cook and Brees Hall and all those guys.
Mm.
Um, so they showed the Jets showed tremendous fight when Aaron Rodgers went down, and a lot of teams would have folded under pressure, and the Jets didn't do that. A lot of teams would have been intimidated by that. The Jets weren't. They were able to come back from a 13-3 deficit, and Zach Wilson won them back from that. The defense stood on their head, and Quinn Williams, it had been um, an absolute animal for the Jets so far. Along with that, Pitt guy Jordan Whitehead had 3 interceptions, not one, not two, but 3 interceptions for the Jets.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I forgot about him.
yeah. I mean, that was awesome to see. So I think the Jets are a team that definitely have some resilience. I think that it's going to get a little harder for them now. I think they're going to be the first to say that.
Mm.
Um, and the AFC is kind of is loaded. So I'll be interested to see kind of how they do. But I mean, I don't think this is a team that's going to fall under pressure.
Um, and you already kind of touched on this, but do you think the Jets still have the tools, and Aaron Rodgers being a big tool in that toolkit, so to speak, of being a playoff team and potentially even a Super Bowl contender? I do think they still have the tools. I think they do.
Yeah, Zach. What stopped me from saying that initially, like when we were just talking about that now, was the fact that the AFC is just so there's so many good teams in the AFC. And, if as a team, as a fan of a team that's in the AFC, I'll be rooting for the Jets, but from afar, right? Because I don't want the
Yeah.
Jets to take a playoff spot from our Steelers here, Zach. I I think the Jets they were kind of a mystery even with Aaron Rodgers, and I think they're more of a mystery now, just because of how is Zach Wilson going to fit the what are they going to figure? What's offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett going to figure out for for Zach Wilson? I think it's going to be different. So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here to any Jets fans that listen to this podcast. I don't think the Jets are going to be as successful, and I don't think that they're going to be a playoff contender, honestly.
All right. Thank you, Danny. Now we're going to. All right. Before we circle back, before we preview week two, we're gonna circle back for a minute. We missed a couple of points we wanted to make on the week one. So first, the Danny, your thoughts on the play of let's see, the two other teams in the AFC North, the Bengals and well, another fellow AFC team, the Chiefs, losing 21-20 to the Lions in on Thursday Night Football last Thursday.
Yeah, Zach, for sure, man. I think that the Lions are a team that showed that really if you work hard and have the right pieces in the organization, that anything is possible. Because a few years ago, the Lions and the city of Detroit went crazy because they won one game, and
Mm-hmm.
the in game one of the 2023 season, the Lions marched into Arrowhead Stadium and defeated the Chiefs on their Super Bowl hanging banner night.
Mm-hmm.
Dan,
Oh yeah.
I've been so impressed, Zach, with Dan Campbell and his way of leading his team. It's non-traditional, and every training camp, every couple weeks, you see Dan Campbell, at practice doing up downs with his players. Coaches of NFL teams don't do that. That's something that just does not happen. But Dan Campbell's gotten his players to buy into that culture, and really have success with it. And they looked really really good against the against the Chiefs. And I really think guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff and that receiving core is getting they really connected well and on Thursday against the Chiefs and against the Chiefs defense. And I'm excited to watch the Lions because I think they got a lot of pieces. They got DeAndre Swift in at running back. He's a guy that always causes chaos. So the Lions are a team that I'm also excited to watch. As far as the Chiefs here, Zach, they were without Travis Kelsey, who had a kind of a groin issue, and they were also without Chris Jones before he got that 1 year deal done with the Chiefs just this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that honestly, that's kind of why they struggled to move the ball against the Lions, just because Travis Kelsey is such a reliable target, and Chris
Mm-hmm.
Jones causes so much chaos on the defensive end. But I do think that it honestly kind of does show still how I'm gonna take the sides of the Chiefs here. And I know I'm kind of like I'm gonna try my best to connect all this, but I think the Chiefs are honestly in a show that they might be in a better position than they people were originally thought, because they really don't have any depth
My apologies. I
outside of
muted you. Sorry. Go ahead.
outside
Keep
of
going.
no, you're right. Here we go. No, just outside of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey. So I think showing that they could compete like a team in the Lions, that has really revamped and has got a lot of guys in a lot of positions is honestly a positive for the Chiefs. As much as it kind of pains me to say that, but yeah, I'm anticipating the Chiefs to still kind of do their thing because Andy Reid is such a great offensive mind. Um, but I think what that tells me about Week 1, and I know we harped on this so much in earlier on in the podcast, Zach, but we do have to remember, the Steelers and the Chiefs and the Bengals, another good AFC team who got blown out by the Cleveland Browns last Sunday, are all only 0-1. So first off, the Steelers are in good company, and I'm also looking forward to hopefully seeing things turn around for the Steelers specifically, and just seeing how the flow of the season as a whole kind of plays out.
All right, Danny. First, or your closing remarks, and then I have a quick programming note.
Yeah, man. No, for sure. I always this is always a really fun time of year, and just really enjoy chopping it up with you when NFL season comes around, Jack. Appreciate everybody for watching and listening.
All right, so quick programming notes. So as far as our schedules go and how often we've been releasing content, so it seems like most of our episodes are going to be these kind of recap and preview shows as we go through the college and NFL seasons. It's hard at this time with me working now and Danny being having his own set of things, so it's hard to get our schedules to line up as much as they were. So we are trying to get as much content out and recorded as we can. We will be starting up some hockey stuff, so that's going to be a very fun time. We're gonna get a lot of Penguin stuff going. There's a lot to talk about in the NHL world, so we'll get into that here in we really should do that kind of soon, shouldn't we? All right, but until next time, he is Danny Shanholzer. I am Zach Bischoff, and we will see you next time right here on the Local Lowdown